Chevy Drive, look alive, look alive. Niggas came up on this side, now they on the other side. Oh well, fuck 'em, dawg. We gon' see how hard they ride. I get rest to go outside, and I spit it with the
Welcome.
we up on the other side. Niggas acting
It's a
like we
lot going
tired.
on right
I've
now
been
as
gone
usual,
since like
but we
July.
still getting it
Niggas
in.
acting like I died. They
This is
won't
Amon,
expect this
asharenu.
shit when
We back in
camera
here.
on the slide. Told him
What's
not
up,
to run
Rob?
this shit behind us, but I lied. Hey,
Hopefully everybody is good.
look who I'm around. If I
All right.
fucked up, I'ma
What's up,
beat
Moon Spirit?
time,
Moon Spirit is up in
man.
here.
Phone flow down, man. That's it, cold, man. Push me to the edge, so it really ain't my motherfucking fault, man. I'm not to blame, man. This fucking industry cut, though I'm not the same, man. And I can let you tag. Now I'm rocking name brand.
We
I'm
always hitting
only
the
chasing
moves. You already know.
bags. Now I got
So we
a
just letting the
game
people come
plan,
in. We gonna get
and I'm
into it. We just
hustling
letting the
for
intro play. So just vibe out for a minute.
700, 305, look alive.
So let's not waste no more time. Let's get into it right now. All right, what's good? Let's get into it. What's up, Oshun? Oshun? What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? So definitely, today we're going to be talking about the holy degenerate, the lowest of the low, being the veil of the highest of the high. Let's get into it. Gnosticism 101. If we study and practice the art and science of Gnosticism, we're going to see the difference between someone who embraces the shadow versus somebody who tries to veil their shadow or to cover their shadow up. Let me speak more specifically. We know all of us are familiar with religion, even if we don't practice or follow any of their paths. We are familiar with it. And we see most of the paths essentially is about people bettering their behavior, people appearing to be kind-hearted and generous. As long as you appear to embody those attributes, you can navigate in this earth plane relatively good, even if you don't possess those attributes in your heart. You can put on a performance, and as long as you put on the proper performance and become believable, people will believe. This is a definition of charm, right? To be someone who's charming or cunning, you're able to convince, influence, manipulate your environment and your atmosphere to suit your will. When we study Gnosticism, on the other hand, the Gnostics say, all right, we're not going to put our energy into appearing to be anything. The Gnostics don't care about what's going on in politics. The Gnostics don't really care what's going on in the church. And the Gnostics really don't care what's going on with their neighbors. All right? They're just not concerned with the happenings of the world. Instead, these people embrace second sight. What is second sight? You can say your astral eyes, right? Your crystal balls. We can say, oh, these are eyeballs and, light is being manipulated. No, your eyes are crystal balls. What gives you the ability to have dreams, what gives you the ability to see things that are not necessarily in front of you, they may be in your inner eye, what gives you the ability to see outside as well as inside is because your eyes are crystal balls. They are suited to be able to gaze physical sight as well as metaphysical and spiritual sight. They're already naturally given this ability. Of course, you're not going to find it, studying human anatomy. But we know that the body is bioelectric. The electric pulses pulsated between because the eyes are connected to the brain. We at least know that. So the eyes are an extension of the brain. And the brain is already wired to operate in ways that we haven't tapped into yet. So look at it this way. So although there's still aspects of ourselves we may not be familiar with, our brain is still wired to come online whenever we tap into that. So whenever we tap into those unknown or those unfamiliar aspects of the brain, they come online. They instantly activate because you're already wired to operate once you tap into it. Therefore, there are certain personalities that dominate us, and there's other personalities that are oppressed. So you can see we have many different aspects of self. So the Gnostic says, let us embrace all of our personalities. In essence, this is what they're saying in essence. Let us embrace all of our personalities instead of trying to appear or allow one personality to dominate, which is we're trying to put on, you can say the religious person is trying to put on this act of the most kind and the gentle, whether they are that or not. But that's kind of what everybody aspires to be. Right? Somebody who's viewed as holy, although we are all sinners. Right? So we see this polarity. So we have the religious who wants to embody one personality or who wants one personality to dominate versus the Gnostic who allows each of their personalities to be expressed. So everything from the highest self all the way down to the shadow self. They allow each personality to operate. You can say each of the 7 chakras are being activated. So on the outside, so this sounds good, right? No problem. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is, on the outside, this can appear to be very chaotic, right? For example, there are many people who are not going to like what's being said, even if they don't necessarily disagree with it, because we can say anything that's rooted in scientific fact, mathematical fact, spiritual fact, magical fact. We can have 100 million facts to support everything we say, but there's always going to be someone who just thinks differently. So they can't really fully embody or agree with what you're saying, not because it's wrong, because they're like, okay, I see the evidence that supports this, so I understand. They understand, but they may not agree. That's just a divine polarity. The divine polarity will always exist. So the polarity in this case is holy and degenerate. We view these things, okay, holy is over here, degenerate is over here. You got the lowest of the low, the scumbags, then you got the saints, scumbags, gangsters, police officers, whatever you want to call, whatever personalities you want to feel in that box. All right? So you can say, because of these polarities, these two forces oppose each other, right? These two forces are at war. The holy is at war with the degenerate. The degenerate is at war with the holy. That's how it appears to be on the surface, right? Two different states of mind. One person says, go to the cops. The other person says, take care of it yourself. The person who says, go to the cops says, you don't want to take care of it yourself because it is against the law. And we are law-abiding citizens. The person that says, handle it yourself. It's saying that you must show forth that in the vicinity that you pay for to live at, when you are paying rent here, when you are entitled to be in certain locations, whether you live here, you work here, you're not going to let anybody disrespect you. And sometimes mere words don't allow that point to be effectively communicated. Now we can say, okay, this person is thinking emotionally, the other person is thinking logically. We can see whether we disagree with that person or that state of mind is irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether we agree or disagree with how somebody else views things. This is why, again, the Gnostic is not concerned with the happenings of the world, so they're not emotionally attached to what's going on in terms of politics, what's going on with the civilians, the citizens, because it's really none of their business. Their mind is more occupied in divination. Divination is the tool the Gnostics use to tap into the celestial realm in order to be guided. The Gnostic is guided by the stars. The Gnostics are the astrologers, those who bear witness to a certain way of life. They don't necessarily deal with things outside of that way of life. Now, whether we view that as right or wrong is irrelevant. The opinion is irrelevant. But what is relevant is, because you choose, let's just say you're a Gnostic, you choose to tap into the celestial plane, and the tool you use to tap into the celestial plane is, it may be the tarot, it may be the zodiac, you may use crystals that correspond with certain planets, so on and so forth. There is limitless. Certain herbs that correspond to certain planets. You may eat a certain food and season it with certain herbs that are in alignment with a certain planet. And that's how you tap into the planet. So there are so many ways. Like, there is no right or wrong way. But however, or whatever path you choose to tap into the celestial plane, you are divinely guided. In a sense, you can say, okay, this person is a holy being. This person is tapping into the celestial plane, which is otherwise unlocked to everyone else's mind. Like, you have to have second sight, or you have to develop your second sight in order to tap into the celestial plane, in order to understand it. So, of course, we have books that you can read about, you know, the stars and the planets and all that. But then we have personal experience. You have to develop your second sight so that you can gain a personal experience with celestial energy. The celestial sight, not the celestial sight, the second sight allows you to view these things that are far away up close. That's essentially what it is, without getting too mystic. It allows you to look at things far away. Your second sight allows you to see things that are far away up close. And when you observe these things up close, you can develop a better understanding of the energy for yourself, regardless of whatever some book says or regardless of anybody else's opinion. Now you have your own experience directly. So on one aspect, you can call the Gnostic a holy person, but on another another tip, you can say that this person is a degenerate because they embrace the dark arts or the black arts or things that people deem forbidden. They embrace the forbidden. That's a good definition right there. The Gnostic embraces the forbidden instead of being fearful of the forbidden. Anything that's considered forbidden, the Gnostic is all in it, all the way in it, versus the other person who's far away from it. I don't want nothing to do with that. It's considered demonic or devilish. The Gnostic is like looking at the energy and the potential, or all energy is neutral. Whatever is deemed forbidden, I know that I'm going to find some type of energy or information. I'm going to find something that sparks my interest. That's why it's forbidden. It's meant to be forbidden to the mundane, but those who have unlocked their mind, it's like a playground. It's like this is where you find greater mysteries. This is where you go to expand who and what you are, who you have found yourself to be by developing your second sight. Though the things that appear far away now appear close up to you. So when we think, well, how did ancient people or people of the past know where certain star constellations were without telescopes? This is how that was possible. Things that were far away appear up close. So this is going back to the brain. The brain will naturally activate when we tap into certain centers that may be inactive in our everyday life. There's aspects of the brain that are just inactive that only come online, let's just say, when you are in a situation where your life is threatened. There's certain centers of the brain that are inactive until you are in a life or death situation or something, a near-death experience, so on and so forth, something of a mystical nature, high psychedelics, there's various ways to tap into those realms. You can say the death realm, the energy of death, or the Scorpio constellation, the 8th house, the water element, the deep oceans. There's many, 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 many ways to view these things. So the Gnostic, having no fear of the forbidden, is deemed devilish, chaotic, unworthy, scum of the earth by whoever is in opposition to that way of life. They don't like it. So therefore, the Gnostic is forced to deal with the flames of opposition by a higher force, right? In other words, you got extra police, let's just say, in the hood, because these people are deemed dangerous. So you got extra, right, when it's not necessary. So you got all these people under constant pressure because the opposing force said we need extra security here, so they're putting extra pressure on the people, which creates a tense environment. So the Gnostic has to forge with the flame. What do I mean by forge with the flame? The Gnostic has to forge their own path, right? The Gnostic doesn't have the luxury of being like everyone else because they embrace the forbidden, they embrace the unknown, they embrace the underworld, they embrace the aspects beyond life and death and just the everyday happiness of life. Their mind is placed upon the 8th house, the Scorpio constellation, the mystic realm, the land beyond, or the realm beyond physical sight, the laws of the universe. There's many, many ways to define this. So the Gnostic has to forge their own path outside of what is deemed worthy or good, or the system. The Gnostic has to forge an alternative reality outside of the system to even exist. Hopefully that didn't go over your head. The Gnostic has to forge an alternative reality outside of the system in order, right? In order to exist, in order to practice their lifestyle, right? So it's always hot out here, So they have to forge ahead. Now, how do they forge? Divination. So they have to learn how to use and activate this fire within, that soul force. They have to tap into their soul force. Because they are under so much opposition, it forces them to tap into their soul force. The soul force, in return, because it's being activated, it's being stimulated, forces them to create an alternative reality to exist. And within this alternative reality, things are different. The rules and regulations and the laws that rule over that dimension are different than here. That's why it seems as if the Gnostic lives by their own law. So that's how they're viewed by the opposition, by people who live by their own law. It just seems as if these people just live by their own laws. So this is how they're viewed. So they're viewed as potentially dangerous people. So okay, make sure that we got the spies in place. You know what I mean? They have all type of plans and plots to keep an eye on the people that are deemed outside of the law or outside of what they deem to be lawful and worthy. So the Gnostic has to forge ahead by learning how to utilize tools of divination so that you can have that celestial guidance. Again, the opposition, you can say, does the same thing or lives the same lifestyle as a Gnostic. They just do it in secret. Understand that. The opposition lives the same lifestyle as the Gnostic, but they live it in secret. So because the Gnostic is doing it openly, they fear that it may influence the people in the upper. It don't matter what you deem yourself, whatever you call yourself, it doesn't matter, because we have to forge an alternative reality. We are forced to because of who we are, because we have this mentality, because we embrace the forbidden naturally, not because somebody told you to do it, because you are magnetically drawn to the forbidden, the dark, the occult, whatever you want to call it. It was a natural pull because it was coming from the soul force. It wasn't coming from outside influence, it was coming from your soul force. So you had a magnetic pull to that which was deemed dark, not because you're just a dark person, it's just deemed dark by the outside society. So they're the ones who's giving you all these labels and all these titles and calling you the lowest of the low, the degenerates, the scumbags. Everyone else is calling you that, although that's not what you are. Now, because the Gnostic is forced to deal with the flame, because the Gnostic, give me 1 second here, because the Gnostic, I'm gonna still be talking as well. Because the Gnostic has to tap into that spirit of vengeance, which is your creative and sexual force, which is the planet Jupiter. Because the Gnostic is forced to tap into the creative and sexual energy, which is generated by the soul force. It's the soul force that generates the sexual and the creative energy. So these people, again, why these people may appear to be promiscuous in nature. These people, again, embrace, you can say, psychedelics. These are the peoples where, they may smoke the weed in today's times, right? We'll use today's times as examples. These are the people who embrace creativity. So you can see creativity in everything that they do. You can see it in the way they dress. You can feel the creativity in the way they talk. You can feel the creativity in their essence. They are constantly generating creativity because they tap into their soul force. The soul force began to generate the creative sexual energy naturally. So this is what allows them to generate this alternative reality. Right? Due to opposing forces that put them under pressure. So they literally did this because of pressure. All right. Just staring into this. So of course, this is what this represents. Life beyond limitations and opposition. The Gnostic keeps their mind beyond the physical, you can say. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. 1 foot into this physical by utilizing the tools, the natural resources of the earth to tap into the celestial influence. So they utilize the physical as an alchemical pot. The Gnostics utilize the physical realm as an alchemical pot, right? Or the witch's pot, you can say it's like you're mixing up resources, elements to create new things that allows you to have certain experiences, allows you to tap into certain realms. So this physical plane is an alchemical pot, an alchemical mixture of natural elements and resources that we tap into naturally. So that's all the physical plane. That's the only purpose the physical plane serves when it comes to the alchemists, the occultists, the Gnostic. It is literally alchemy. They view everything as alchemic and scientific and mathematical. I'm going to use this for this purpose. I'm going to use this for this purpose. So everything is specific. So again, on the outside looking in, this is deemed as witchcraft. So to the outside, this is deemed as witchcraft. If you look at this and you don't understand what's going on, you don't understand, it's going to be deemed as witchcraft. Right? Therefore, you're going to have a certain view on what you see. So if you see people, let's just say you saw a person walking around with a chain on and they got a bunch of skulls in the chain. To the outside looking in, that may seem devilish, that may seem demonic, that may seem evil, that may give them a certain feeling in their chest that is uncomfortable because it represents the unknown to them. Because it represents the unknown, it creates fear. In the Gnostic, instead of fear being generated, it generates power. They find power in the unknown versus fear of the unknown. The Gnostic finds the power because power can be found within the darker arts or the black arts. You can find the power to harness heavier elements. In other words, it allows your mind to go further. Again, develop that second sight so you can see things that are far away up close, things that are not as if they are. Like a Nikola Tesla, you will be able to visualize an entire creation process in your mind without having to lift a finger. And the only time you lift a finger is when you already have everything mapped out. So the body is just literally about everything. Everything is already in order. I utilize my mind and my imagination to do all my calculations. Everything is good. So the only time I lift a finger is just to gather the resources and to activate it. That's the only purpose it serves, to gather the resources and activate what I've already channeled in mentally. Because I have developed my second sight by embracing the power that's found in the unknown, or those things that are deemed forbidden. You find the power and not the fear, and you also deal with that fear. How do you deal with the fear? Let's just say you do have fear. How do you deal with the fear? You have to embrace the unknown. The only way to deal with the fear, as they say, you have to face the fear head on. You can't deal with a fear all the way on the other side of the fear. You have to embrace it head on. So therefore, you must explore the mysteries. You must explore the occult. You must explore the unknown. Practice the unknown. Because what happens is, when you practice the unknown, the occult, the mystical, you realize that the stuff works. You realize that it works. Like, wait, there's actually power in this because it works. Once you tap in, you will discover that these things work. There is a power within this. It works. That's why, again, they practice it in secret. But the Gnostics practice it outward. So that's why they're deemed dangerous, because they're like, yo, they're doing the same thing we're doing. We're afraid of them because they may be doing it from a whole different plane. They're tapping into places that we're not tapped into. Right? So, the Gnostic will always have this opposition. The Gnostic will always have this opposition. So they have to tap into that soul force to burn away the opposition and create and then turn to reality. The opposition also deems these people as ghosts, because they have the ability, you can say, to shapeshift, to alter, to materialize and dematerialize, because they have found the power in the mysteries. When you have found the power in the mysteries, all things that were impossible to you before now becomes possible. Just simple as that. All things impossible become possible when you find the power in the unknown and the things that are deemed otherworldly. Right? So, this is the difference. I'm just giving a basic outline. between various mindsets of people, and why people create enemies versus actually having enemies. People go around creating enemies instead of just naturally having enemies. People embrace going around just seeing what everybody else is doing, getting in everybody's business, right? But this is what we are. You turn on the radio, they're telling you about everybody's business. You turn on the TV, they're telling you about everybody's business. You turn on the internet, it's telling you about everybody's business, right? Whether you ask for it or not. People that you essentially don't know, don't care about, have no effect on you, but you're being pushed. All of the information is being pushed to you as if you are concerned. Therefore, because have all this opposing energy, like you can't just log on to the internet and just do whatever you want to do. You gotta go past all of this nonsense. You gotta navigate through these ethers. You got all this stuff that sends you into vortex. Oh, what's going on with that person? What's going on? That leads you to this story leads you to that story, that video leads you to this video leads you to this video. You just get sucked into a vortex of stuff that you had a whole another intention set, then you got sucked into a vortex. This is what happens. You can say this is the space wars, right? Getting sucked into internet vortexes when you are trying to accomplish tasks, because the internet can be used as a tool to manifest your desires, your reality. The internet is a tool to be used, but you have to navigate through a lot of nonsense, a lot of stuff that will draw you into a vortex, and you don't realize how you got here, and you forgot the original intention. Then nothing gets done. All right. So just giving modern day examples of ancient concepts. So we 30 minutes in, we're not gonna make this too deep. All right. So that's it. Hopefully y'all get it. All right. So there we go. So unless we have any questions, we can get up out of here. What's up, Leandro? What's up, Afropic? What's up, MM? Hold on. Let me make sure. What's up, Dragon OG? What's up, Profoundly Dignified? What's up, Kimberly? So what is it? Jaro, Harmonies Holistics. I'll see everybody. 305 Capricorn. Trey Hall. Coco 00519, Torrance Garden. I'll see everybody. What's up, Marvin and Magi? What's up, Sierra? What's up? What is it? Artrell, Jeffries. What's up? What's up? What's up? I think I got everybody. What's up, One? Okay, quick question. One has a question. After watching Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, can a female terrestrial not lead a family unit? Okay, so can a female terrestrial not lead a family unit? Women definitely have the ability to lead a family unit by all means. Especially nowadays. We have a lot of women that's tapped into their warrior spirits, whether by natural events or by forced events. They were forced to tap into their spirit of vengeance, you can say. So a lot of women are tapped into the spirit of vengeance, and sometimes it goes left, sometimes it goes right. This can be a useful spirit because it's a spirit of justice, but it also can be a spirit that consumes you, if you allow it. So, again, all things have a polarity. So to answer your question, do women have earth terrestrials, feminine terrestrials? Absolutely. They have the ability to be generals. They have the ability to lead peoples of all kinds in all places at all times. So absolutely. Absolutely. Without a question. All right. What's the best way to hold a thought? So Leandro is pretty much talking about concentration. Concentration, you can say, just think about the constellation of Leo. The constellation of Leo is a good constellation to study when we talk about thought and the concentration of thought, because Leo represents the sun. The sun is a concentrated thought that is being illuminated. Because the sun is a concentrated thought that's being illuminated, to study the atmosphere and the physical makeup of the sun and how the sun utilizes these resources to concentrate itself magnetically and to generate fire. So the study of the physical sun and how the sun makes itself up and generates this flame and holds this flame in a concentrated ball of heat, and how this is able to live, this fire. Remember the study of fire. If you study fire, then you can understand how to hold a thought. Holding a thought is like holding a flame. That's why it's very hard to concentrate. It's very hard for your attention span uh, to be broadened. Like it's not easy thing to do. It's like holding fire in the palm of your hands. But the alchemist understands that fire, like all other elements, can be manipulated, and therefore the heat will not burn you. Remember, all things that we deem impossible become possible to one who embraces the mysteries, such as holding fire in the palm of your hands, aka concentrating a thought to materialization. Right? There we go. Let me see. Yeah, see, they're talking about all this stuff in the comments, which is fine. Realize I've been falling in love more with the idea of death more and more. Absolutely. Because we understand that there are mysteries to be pondered on that exist outside the cycles of time. So basically embracing death is like embracing a sense of no time, going beyond the illusion of time, just to keep it basic. Because death breaks down to 11. What else breaks down to 11, or the number 2? Time. Death and time both break down to the number 11, master number 11, as well as number 2. So they share attributes in that sense. All right, so just that. So just on a numerical, on a mathematical tip, time and death share a correspondence. All right, so, there we go. Another question: how are you affected by taking advantage of loopholes within universal law, like an individual lack of guilt within their actions and not having to be taken accountable on this plane? That's kind of the point. You just don't do this as a savage. You do this as a thinker. So basically the same thing the savages are doing out here, just doing whatever the fuck they want, whenever they want, harming people. The Gnostic does that does that same thing. They're just applying it, utilizing their thoughts. So that same spirit of vengeance present in people who have hate in their heart is that same spirit. The Gnostic has transmuted that spirit of vengeance into a loving spirit, love of self. Therefore, I'm going to do what my heart tells me to do. I'm going to be guided by my heart. Therefore, they do the same thing the savage do, just on a higher plane. That's all it is. So it's the same energy that has just been transmuted. But that's why you're going to, the polarities always have to exist. So that's why you see the polarities. So the polarities will always exist. So yes, you are here to free your mind from the thinking that has been imposed on you. You are going beyond the societal norms. So yeah, you are going outside of time. All right, there you go. Yeah, so I pretty much answered that question. Yeah, so this is not to infringe on nobody's free will. We apply that using our thoughts, going beyond, breaking through the matrix, breaking the cycles of life and death. So we're utilizing that same penetrating energy that's trying to harm, that same penetrating energy that's trying to harm. The Gnostics use that same penetrating energy to penetrate through the matrix. Same energy, just redirected. Redirected, right? That's all it is. It's just redirecting the energy into a constructive force. All right, where should I start to break negative patterns that are strong and out of poverty mentality and fear? I need to break free of these patterns. You don't know where to start? Well, of course, Always start with a detox. Always start with a fast. Always start with a ritual. You have to mark in your mind a time where you become different. You have to sacrifice yourself, right? Meaning you are sacrificing your current self in order to embody your future self. In order, basically, to the point where people wouldn't even recognize you. So in essence, let's just say if you was 200 pounds and you wanted to be 150, people who knew you in those 200 pounds will not recognize you in that 150 body frame because you don't look the same. You look completely different. So you had to sacrifice the 200-pound you to get to the 150 you. Or vice versa. You 150, you trying to get up 200 pounds. Let's just say you a bodybuilder or whatever. You 150, you trying to build up muscle. So the people who recognize you when you were smaller, you look bigger, they don't really recognize you no more because you are not the same. You have transformed. Right? So it works both ways. So whenever you seek to transform, start detox. Fast. Right? Do something that marks you making that transition. Right? Because it becomes a lifestyle. Meaning you have to engage in a lifestyle on a continual basis. And you change over time. You don't change necessarily overnight. You can spark it overnight, but that spark has to be cultivated and maintained in order for you to reap long-term results. So you have to cultivate the flame that is ignited. So you say, how do you ignite the flame? Essentially, you have to tap into those forces. When you fast, it raises your metabolism. It speeds your metabolism. It allows you to see things more clearly. It allows you to be divinely guided by the celestial plane because it's dissolving all of your problems. All of your problems are dissolved as you fast. So start with a detox and be open to the spirit of wisdom or the voice of wisdom. Just be receptive. Go internal. Observe your dreams. Dream more. Embrace your dreams. Project yourself within your dreams. Embrace the darker aspects, your forbidden nature in your dreams. See, that's what we do. That's the purpose of dreams. The dreams are for you to embrace your dark side. All things that you can't do here that's going to cause you to be locked up or just maybe deemed weird or strange that you may not want to perform in front of other people. You have your dreams. But again, most people are locked out of their dreams because they don't embrace that Gnostic lifestyle. The Gnostic opens themselves up to the dream world, and that's where they embrace their further alchemical arts. The things that they may not have access to readily, they open themselves up to the dream world, however they choose to do it. Again, psychedelics, fasting, changing their sleep patterns, changing, they may want to sleep on the floor versus sleeping on the bed. They may want to sleep to the north as opposed to sleeping to the east. However they decide to do it, but they make the change. All right. Also, study dream yoga for all my dreamers out there. Study dream yoga. It's a whole yoga dedicated to dreaming. For those who may not know that, if you want to open yourself up to the dream world so that you can explore the possibilities. For those who are into those type of things. All right. All right, let me see. What's up, Kiwi Goddess? Kiwi, that may not even how you say your name. Let me see. Is it Kawi or Kawi Goddess Leah? But Goddess Leah. So if I said that wrong, but peace, Goddess Leah. Much love to you. Much love to you. You know what I mean? Much love and much success to everything you're doing. Much love to you. Any practices to go as deep as possible into my darker self and know my shadow. Open yourself up to the dream plane. Open yourself up to your dreams. Your own dreams that are yours anyway. Your birthright. Right? We have the birthright to dream. So anybody that's not dreaming are denying themselves of their birthright. Open yourself up to your dreams. Then think the darkest thoughts. that come to your mind, the most sinister thoughts, and transmute it. So you summon that earth energy. You can say the earth energy is very negative. You know, earthly energy can be very negative. So you're pulling from the negative energies of the earth and transmuting that energy, allowing your body, your astral, your etheric body to become a conduit for the electric or the kinetic forces that's being pulled out of the earth and transmuted into different forms that allow you to go further. So you are harnessing this energy that is very, very hard to harness. A lot of people have uh, a lot of people have a lot of hardship dealing with negative energy. It's very, very hard to deal with negative energy because it's powerful. There is power in negativity. That's why people use negativity so much. That's why negativity is pushed in front of us, because there's a power to negativity. Negativity is very powerful. Not sinister, not bad, but it has a power to it. That's why it can be projected to you, and you again get sucked into that vortex because it has a magnetic pull. Negativity is very powerful. Nothing wrong with it. It just has to be harnessed. It's like a wild child, a wild animal on the loose, and you're seeking to tame it. You're not mad because it's a wild animal. You're not mad at the child for being a child. You just understand that it's a process you have to go through in order to tame that beast. So you utilize your dreams as that dojo to tame your shadow. You become one with your shadow. You embrace your fears, right? So your dreams become your dojo in order for you to embrace the things of you that you will not show publicly, you will not show. But there has to be a point where you face that. All the things that you restrict and restrain, you must face that. Or else it would take on a spirit or form of itself, manifest in your reality and manifest as a negative experience or a misfortune, right? A self-sabotage. Dang, everything was going good. Boom. Right? It's the spirit of vengeance. If it's not expressed, you know, it's gonna reflect back at you. So that's why it must be tamed. It's like, so everybody, you can say most people just have this wild animal within them that's not tamed, and it causes negative experience. But that same negative energy just has to be harnessed and wielded properly. So that same thing that causes you misfortune can create the opposite when it's harnessed. So the same thing that's causing your strife will cause your heaven. That same woman that's causing that hell in your life can create heaven in your life if that energy is properly harnessed. All right? Same thing. There we go. All right. Asha, I know you always say we are the creators of our own reality, but how do you feel about quantum jumping? Instead of creating our reality, we just choose the reality we would rather be in because everything already exists. Well, that's why nowadays I'm speaking more about conversion. Because yes, you can say we are the creators of our reality, but creation, I don't want to use that out of context. So I would rather say we are the architects to our reality. We are the architects of our reality, meaning we are the builders, we are the shapers and molders of our reality. Meaning, yes, as they say, life is what you make it. This is true. So we're not necessarily right creating things that don't exist already. We are just crafting the things. We are using the natural resources that we have readily available to us and shaping and molding them to our pleasure. So, for example, in other words, it's the same way where you're in a forest. Let's just say you're in a forest and you utilize the natural resources of the forest to construct a home for yourself and to create safety. You find a source of food. You do everything you need to do, and you can live in this forest by utilizing the natural resources to create for yourself food, clothing, and shelter. Right? People do the same thing within the cities. Right? So we are manipulating our environment and shaping and molding it. That's why it's manipulation. Manipulation is not necessarily creation. You are shaping and molding your reality based upon your thoughts. So your thoughts shape and mold things. versus we are creating something out of the nothingness. So when I refer to Gnostics creating their own realities, what they are doing is, you can say, yes, they are literally tapping into realms that already do exist, but may not exist, you could say, on the 3D dimension. So you could say they're tapping into fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional realms and allowing those realities to descend into the third dimensional experience. So when we tap into the celestial plane, you can say that's tapping into the fourth dimension. Right? When you tap into the celestial plane, you can say that is you tapping into the fourth dimension. That's you looking and seeing what things are going to descend and aligning yourself to be able to receive the things that you see descending. Blessings that you see are descending, you align yourself with that blessing. All right? So hopefully that makes sense. So yes, it is more about manipulation and architecting your reality versus you are just creating it. All right? So there's various ways to look at it. Various ways to look at it. Right? Again, there's no one supreme right way. Everybody has their view of it, and everybody is right. Anger is powerful shit. Absolutely, anger is definitely powerful. Marvin the Magi gives an $8.89 donation. Blessing to you, big homie. Once again, you already know. I appreciate the support, the continued support and love. You already know. Big shout out to you, homie. Right? God is Leah or Leah. You never remember your dreams, used to dream, but after starting meditation, you don't remember. Basically, okay, for anybody who wants to remember their dreams, there's various ways to do it. Various ways to do it. Again, outside of practicing dream yoga, so that's the first thing. Definitely look into dream yoga. Fast before you sleep. So 6 hours before you sleep, dry fast. Don't eat or drink anything 6 hours before you go to bed. What you're going to notice, that's going to speed up your metabolism because there's no food in your stomach, so all that energy is being pushed upward, right? So you're converting that positive energy into negative energy. That negative energy allows you to project yourself etherically. So what you want to do, you want to breathe more out of your left nostril, right? Obstruct your right nostril, breathe more out of your left nostril. As you sleep, or sleep on your right side. When you sleep on your right side, you naturally breathe out of your left nostril anyway. So sleep more on your right side, breathe more out of your left nostril when you are doing your meditations and any type of soulful work, spiritual or soulful work. Breathe out of your left nostril, right? That's going to help you generate negative energy on the left side of the body, right? So dream yoga, alter your breathing, left nostril, right? Practice inversion. Inversion is standing on your head. When you stand on your head, the blood obviously rushes to your head, so that helps you to dissolve any type of obstruction, within the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, right? So practice more inversion, standing on your head. What else can you do? Just jump and dance more overall. Just jump and dance. Give me 1 second. So practice more jumping and dancing. Let's see, it's super hot, super hot. Let's see. What else? Just basic stuff. Basic stuff, nothing too serious, nothing too complicated. It just takes consistency. It's just doing these things consistently. That's how you tap in. And you have to record. That's the major key. Because if you don't record, I have done this myself. I've done this. I've dedicated many months of just dreaming. In my earlier days, I was dedicating months to just dreaming and recording my dreams. So I know this. The deepest I have gotten within my dreams is when I was recording them. I started to remember more and more details as I slept. More and more details, more and more details, more and more details. So you have to activate your pen. Activate your pen. Your pen must be activated. You must scribe your dreams down. And they're going to get more and more vivid and more detailed. Also, go to sleep with intention. Chant numbers. One of the deepest experiences I've had in the dream world is when I was chanting numbers, numerical sequences. right? Whatever sequence that comes. So for all these people that seeing all these numbers, oh, I keep seeing this sequence, I keep seeing this sequence. Keep that in your mind and take it to the dream world and see what it's really trying to show you. It is a subconscious message being sent to you. See what that is. Explore it further than some type of physical. Oh, I need to do this physically. I need to do this physically. It may be something spiritually. It may be something for your soul, right? So I'm just giving out techniques, so try those things out. Try those things out. I'm pretty sure you will find success. Also, sleep with water under your bed or above your head with sea salt. Sea salt with a glass of water, a cup of water, a bowl of water, something. Put water in your sleeping area. Sleep with crystals around your head. Sleep with copper. Get pennies before 1982 or get natural copper. Sleep with copper around your head. Like create a crown area around your head, crystals, water, create an altar, right? But create a dreaming altar, right? And keep your book, keep your dream journal right there, so when you wake up, you can grab it and start to scribe, right? There you go. There you go. Okay. So say instead of going on a mission and here on earthly plane of existence, take that same anger and aggression in the dream world, absolutely. Right, so instead of, you may be intensely angry at whatever. So instead of punching people in the face or getting fired from your job because you went off on your boss, or basically create some type of scenario where you have to reap the consequences of it, you explore it in the dream world, absolutely, because you don't have to reap the consequences. Why? Because it's all projections from your thoughts. It's like you're playing with shapes. You're playing with toys in your mind, playing with, you know what I mean? So it's like a baby, a child is imagining playing with the two figures in their hand and they're fighting, and you're doing the same thing in the dream world. Then when you're done, you just put them down, and you're not reaping any consequences. So yes, the dream world is your dojo. Make the dream world your dojo to practice whatever you're trying to perfect. So as a Gnostic, you utilize the dojo of the dream world to channel information, to tap into the celestial plane so that you can be guided, right? Because you're not concerned with society, you're not concerned with the happenings of the world. So what are you concerned with? Your soul, building up your soul force. So you utilize the dream world as your dojo. So, your martial arts, perfecting your martial arts, right? So that's what you utilize the dream for, perfecting your martial arts on a physical level, mental level, and a soulful level. There we go. Exactly. Alchemy. No problem. No problem, Oshun. You've been digging into the Gnostic teachings. Yeah, this is what it's all about. I'm just explaining in a way that's, a lot more, I guess, updated, in modern terms. But that's essentially what it is. You can say the streets are the modern day Gnostics, right? In real time. So if you want to, that's why I speak more. That's why I speak about the streets so much. It's modern day Gnostics. But that's where you also gain wisdom. So beyond just the people and what people do, this is where you gain wisdom off them street corners, right? Those street corners are portals. Those street corners are vortexes. Those bus stops are vortexes. Being in traffic, driving, you going through energy grids and vortexes. That's how you have those correspondences, those synchronistic moments, running into people just randomly, right? So there you go. No problem, Goddess Leia. I appreciate that. Exactly. That definitely tap into that dream. Or any advice on not getting power, but emotionally embracing your power. So okay, on the emotional tip. All right, because you can say that's pretty much the divine feminine. So Afro Pick is asking about the divine feminine. So how do you do this? Okay, you have the masculine, the divine masculine, which is going out and obtaining power. The divine feminine, she is finding power within herself because she is the creatrix. The divine feminine recognizes herself as the creatrix, so she has all resources already within her. So she seeks to cultivate her inner resources so that she can produce, greater qualities of life. But she know that she needs to get her inner garden in check. So that's the, becoming receptive to your emotions. So when it comes to emotion, your emotional power, getting that in check, the emotional power, That, it's like cleansing your inner garden. You know, so it's like you can say that the garden just needs a haircut. That's all it is. So when everything's become stagnant, the energy becomes stagnant or it becomes too out of control. It just needs a little haircut. Just needs a little haircut. That's all it is. So your inner garden just needs a haircut because your energy. Just look at it as an energy grid. Your emotions are travel through your energy grids, right? We don't. These are the things we can't see. You're not gonna cut up. You're not gonna cut open the body and see these things. These things are happening on a level that we can't observe. So we have all type of energy grids and energy paths, signals and meridians all through the body. So emotions travel through certain energy grids and certain energy portals and waves and all these things. So when it comes to emotional stability and emotional power, of course it is within the heart chakra, but it's putting those thoughts within your heart. So to embrace your emotional power, you cultivate the emotional power, the things that make you feel strongly, whether positive or negative, strong vengeance, strong pleasure, strong any intense emotions. Place the thought in the center of your heart and think about it intensely to the point where you are engulfing that thought within your passions. You're utilizing your passion and engulfing that thought till it dissolves within you. It becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of who you are, and it materializes and it blossoms and blooms, in terms of in the sense of people, places, and things, or things that are in alignment with that frequency. So just tend to the inner garden, and don't just not allowing the emotions to just not be utilized. People, we feel emotions all throughout the day, and it be because of something else. Like, dang, somebody triggered your anger. Now you mad all day. You can utilize that madness alchemically. That's the only difference. So if somebody sparks that madness, you transmute that energy and you utilize it on an alchemical level, or you generate your own madness and transmute that energy. That's all it is. So the emotions that you receive, you are constantly in transmutation of these emotions. You are transmuted into suit your purpose that you have placed in the middle of your heart. So that's how you are harnessing your emotions. You redirect them to something that you have already planted within you. So you are redirecting that energy to nourish the seed that you planted versus they're just nurturing whatever they want to do. They're just going throughout your body, just having their way. You redirect them to the seed that you planted by harnessing it, right? So harnessing emotional power is bringing it together. You must bring the power together. Bring it together as one for one common cause and allow it to cultivate within. All right, there we go. There we go. Oh man. Let me see. Where we at with it? Where we at with it? So good energy today. Good energy today. Yeah. Good energy today. Good energy today. Okay, what if you have insomnia? Does that mean anything spiritually? Not necessarily. If you can't sleep, then that means you need to you can say whatever your daily habits are, whatever your daily routine is, you switch it. So for example, you may be a person that goes to the gym and gets your 30-minute workout, your hour workout. So that's just a daily ritual for you. Go to the gym, or you jog for some miles, whatever your daily ritual may be. If you have insomnia, that means there is an imbalance somewhere. There's an imbalance. So somewhere within your daily habits is creating an imbalance within that doesn't allow you to sleep. So you must seek out the cause of the imbalance, whether it's physically or on the emotional level or on the level on the subconscious mind, which is again utilizing the dream world, activating that dream yoga to go deeper into it. But just dealing on the physical level, you must observe your daily habits and see what is it that's causing an imbalance. Of course, you may already know what it is. You may have an idea what it is. There's something that's creating an imbalance that doesn't allow you to rest. It's like every time you try to rest, you wake up. You try to rest. Oh, what's going on with my kids? Oh shit, I need to pay this bill. Try to go to sleep. Oh, what's going on? I need to call this person back. Try to go to sleep. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, you're tormented by all these thoughts. It's got to slow down. It's got to slow down. Deep breathing. Deep breathing. So if you have insomnia, again, breathe through the left nostril. Bring in more feminine energy. You can say it may be too much positive energy flowing through you. It just have you jittery, right? It's just like you just can't sleep. The negative energy, drawing more negative energy to balance out the positive energy, right? So that's all it is. You're just seeking, find it in imbalance, alter your breathing, find the imbalance, and whatever the imbalance is, of course, first alter your breathing, and that may do whatever you need to do by itself. That may have an effect by itself, but that's all it is. It's nothing too complex. Just alter your breathing first and foremost. Alter your breathing, more negative than positive. Harness your emotions. So whenever you're dealing with emotions, you got to keep it harnessed, redirect that energy, and inversion. Definitely stand on your head more. Definitely inversion. If you practice enough reversion and that, and just exercise, just minor exercise, on the yoga mats and all that, just regular stuff, nothing too serious. Your energy is gonna circulate properly. So just going through that alchemical process. And lastly, if all else fails, fast. Fasting is gonna have you so weak in energy, you're gonna embrace sleep. Right? So if all else fails, fast and stop eating, and you will be just fine. All right. Exactly. What's up, Michael? Yeah, definitely red wine definitely helps you sleep. The crystals by your head really work. Definitely, Oshun. Definitely. We only speak facts. We only speak in facts. You know what I mean? Definitely cultivate your lifestyle and see what works. There's secrets just waiting to be discovered, but we just got to put in that work. All right? So I think y'all get the point. So we get up out of here. Definitely, everybody, I appreciate the energy. I appreciate the love. Good energy today. Again, we're going to come back every day. We're not missing a day. We're not missing a beat. We here. So we gonna keep this energy flowing. I believe, I'm definitely feeling a lot more solar energy. So, we was going through that heavy lunar energy, that heavy lunar phase. So I think today, I'm starting to feel, the solar energy start to circulate again. So that's just my perspective, from the west side. I know everybody's gonna have a different perspectives, but we all in here. Hopefully everybody's good. Keep that soul force charging. Keep that soul force pumping. Pump that soul force. You know what I mean? How long should you fast? 72 hours. As a beginner, 72 hours. And once you can master that, and always enhance it. But start with 72 hours. Or 24 hours if you never did that. 24 hours, 72 hours, and slowly build up. All right? It's a new moon on Saturday. All right, no doubt. No doubt. You already know that new moon is all about manifestation. So we planting the seeds now for the new moon. You already know. All right? So, all right, you already know what's up. So I'll get at y'all tomorrow. Salute to everybody. Y'all take it easy.